So I passed 1,000 trades earlier this week, which is always a good milestone to reach. And I think at the end of the day I'll be pretty close to 1,100 trades. So my volume's been improving this week, which I'm happy about. And once the dashboard gets up, we can have a look at my stats and check out the performance. So it looks like there's a couple of Norwegian basketball trades over at Nordic Bet, but fortunately that's one of the bookies I'm not able to access currently. Alright, so yeah, let's look here. So currently I'm at 1,084 trades. My initial run bet and cool bet has evened out, and I'm now about breaking even there. Made another deposit as I managed to turn over all of my money that I had initially on Saturday. So I put in a bit more money to have a bit higher roll there. There's been a lot of action throughout the week to be had on cool bet. I started with them I think 3 weeks ago or something, and already they're like the bookie that I have the third most trades on. So they've been great so far. I wrote in the post I published on the Trademate blog when I reached 1,000 trades that I hadn't been limited by any bookies yet, but it looks like I'm limited on Nordic Bet now. I only managed to get in like 300 kroners on a NBA game on the over-under, and a lot of the smaller leagues I was limited to like $5. So it looks like it's game over there, but I mean, I've been running incredibly well with a 16% ROI, so I guess they decided that I wasn't too good for business. Okay, so yeah, my profits have been going a bit up and down here over the last 150 trades. So as I keep increasing the sample size, hopefully it'll get another upturn soon. And let's have a look at the trades I got on so far today. So I got Southampton here. That was almost a 10% edge when I placed it. I'm not sure if the game hasn't started yet, so it'll be interesting to see how that edge is at the time of kickoff. So I'm definitely gonna cheer for the Saints in that final, and sorry to all the Manchester United fans out there. I got a bit of Greek action here. Also got Barca today. I think that edge improved. I saw it at Bet365 at 2.4 now, so I'm assuming that it's kept on dropping. So I think that's going to be a pretty strong edge. Got Gladbach here. We got the this one popped up. The Lazio game popped up about a minute before kickoff. Only about a 2% edge, but getting it so close to kickoff, then I know it's going to be good. So pretty happy about that one as well. And yeah, a couple of Italian games. In general, there's been a handful of games throughout the big European top leagues today. So been spreading my action out on those. Okay, let's have a quick look at the analytics page as well, just to give you guys a review of my stats. The average closing edge is only at 2.5%, so there's definitely room for improvement there. I mean, I've been running way above my EV for a very, very long time. I also try to sort of limit the maximum size that I bet on each game, because I don't want to have all my eggs in one basket. So I think that sort of played out in that I don't have a lot of very large swings in my overall stats. So I like that way of trading. It fits my sort of risk-reward profile. So just grinding it out and getting a good side income. That's the goal for me. Okay, so let's see if we can get this St. Gallen versus Lugano game on. Not sure if that's the Swiss top division or not, but we'll have a look and we'll find out. Okay, draw no bet, 3.4. Yeah, it looks like that one expired. You can just check the Asian handicap line just to be sure. Yeah, it's a 3.1 there and a 3.0 here, so it's always good to check the Asian handicap line if the edge is at the draw no bet and vice versa. As you can see, it's gone now, so a bit too late there. Yeah, here you can see the Barcelona game set 2.4 at Bet365 currently. I got in at 2.55. So that's going to be an interesting game to follow.
What was that?
Do you have a lot of action on today?
I currently have 177k in play.
177k in play. I think I probably have like a couple of $100, so a bit of a difference there.
No, it's been like up and down today. I started up winning a bit and then I'm back to even.
Yeah.
So that's how the days goes. Up and down, up and down.
Yeah. Do you have anything on the Manchester United game or?
Yeah, I'm on Southampton plus 0.75 at 195. It's at 196 now at Pinnacle, so it's moved slightly against.
Yeah. I think I got the +1 if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I mean it's what can I say? Those games it's hard to predict. I took an early position, so it could go both ways.
Yeah.
So as I've been seeing the overs have dropped a lot, which then should be a reasoning for United also to drop. Because I mean, when you're the favorite and the overs is dropping, they are expecting you to score more goals.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Yeah. So what's up? I've never been on this Trading Europe stream before.
Yeah, no, so I've been just going through my stats and stuff so far. I have about like 5 or 6 bookies that I'm currently using. So.
But I looked through 888 yesterday because I played some poker there, and in order to, what can I say, get a level up, I have to bet also in order to get points and get some sort of rake back. I don't even know what that rake back equals to, but it's super low. But anyways, I saw that I was able to bet a decent amount on some of the bets.
Yeah.
Like even though I'm quite limited, I can see, for example, on the Atalanta versus Juventus, I were able to betting multiple lines. I got on 260 on one line, 206 on another, 155, and then 344. So I mean, just by grinding out the recommended leagues, I'm sure, like, even though you're limited, you can get on a decent amount.
Yeah. 88 Sport is, I guess they're a clone of Unibet, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's the same as Unibet and 32 Red.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there's any other also that uses the same thing.
There are a couple of. I found one in Spain, and also another one that I can't recall the name of. We're gonna get them up on Trademate pretty soon, so then people, you just you pretend that it's Unibet you're having, but you just place the bets and edges at the clones instead, and then just register the trade with Unibet. So everything gets registered to the same bookmaker, but it's not really important since the odds are the same anyway. So
yeah, and I mean, if you withdraw or you have money on multiple accounts or something like that, I'm sure you can just adjust your bankroll after that.
Yeah, you can. Has it happened to you a lot that sort of bookies where you're limited from have increased your limits again later on?
Yeah, so actually it happened with 32 Red. It was ridiculous because there was an edge coming in, so I took it. I guess it was on a non-recommended league and it was way back. So an edge comes in and I'm betting it, and then all of a sudden there's an edge on the other side, so I start betting that. And I could get on like a couple of $100 on the game, and then the next day I'm able to bet like a couple of thousands because I bet on the same bet but opposite lines after like the Asian market it moved. So I don't know why, or if it was a mistake, but I was only able to bet for like a couple of weeks after that. But managed to win like 10K or something off them, so that's good.
So when you first sort of get the limitation, would you then withdraw all of your money from that bookie, or would you leave, let's say, $100 in there just in case you get more opportunities later on?
I mean, when you get with not limited, I think it depends on how much they're allowing you to bet on recommended leagues. So if they still allow you to put on like a couple of $100 on recommended leagues, I mean, I think it's worth grinding it out, just leaving it on, and just put it as a second priority. When you can't get on other bets, you'll just grind it out and take those.
Yeah.
But if you get completely limited, so you're only able to bet like $5 to $10 on everything, then I mean, you can put a couple of accumulators up and see if they want to change it. But I don't know. I haven't really been grinding softbook so hard, as I'm betting for quite a lot more money in the Asian markets. And I've been rather focusing on them.
Yeah, maybe try and take a spin at the roulette table as well, and
I don't think that's gonna help out, because I think the sportsbook has like a separate risk manager or risk people, and I don't think they are looking at if you take spins at other things. But this is just me assuming, because I was playing like 25-50 and stuff on micro gaming, and I was only able to bet for $200. Not £200 back then, and that's basically how I started off with Bettor, now Trademate. Was I just started betting with them because I found like a site where I can compare deviations and stuff like that, and then they started to charge me money for using their site, which I can understand. So I thought I should create my own and just figure it out like an easy way, because I had to look through manually, which was a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Which service was that? I didn't catch that part.
Which service I was using?
Yeah.
I was using TX odds.
Okay. Yeah.
So that used to be free back in the days.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let me see. We had a customer who signed up for Trademate who used to work for a bookie. He said that, well, first of all, there's like no single standard for the risk management services out there. So he did say that it would be good to place a couple of bets on the casinos initially. But I do guess that is something that varies a lot from bookie to bookie, and it's quite common. We were just at a huge gambling conference in London a couple of weeks ago. And there are some companies that deliver the software to a lot of the bookies, or just basically skins on top of that service. So for those, I would assume that maybe they put their risk management together, and that's the same for like 10 bookies. And then there's another group of bookies that have the same risk management there as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've read so many different things regarding this, so it's hard to know like who actually knows what they're doing and who doesn't.
Yeah.
But it would make sense to share the information, even though I don't understand how that could be illegal. But I guess that's another talk.
Yeah, it is. So for people who are new to the world of sports betting, if you were to sort of start over again with, let's say, £1,000, how would you go about it in terms of building your bankroll?
I mean, with £1,000, I would. It's all relative, because how much is £1,000 to the guy betting? If it's like a lot of money and you save this up, then he should obviously have a more careful approach, rather than if it's a guy making a lot of money working some decent job but just wants to get a high return on his money. But I think I would just go with half Kelly and start grinding out a couple of soft books. You don't want to start off with too many, because once you increase your bankroll, you want to be able to have higher bets. But also with $1,000, being limited doesn't really matter before you get to like 5 to 10K plus, because of the size of your bets. So I mean, it's all depending on what your goal is. If you want to just have a steady income on the side,
Yeah, that's a good point. Just popped in an edge here on cool bet, so I'm just gonna see if I can can get it placed.
Go ahead.
Looks like it's on the Costa Rica Premier Division.
Are you betting that thing there?
So far I've been sticking to the recommended leagues only on cool bet.
Yeah, I wouldn't jump outside of the recommended bets with cool bets. I mean, they have quite okay limits from what I've been told, and just I don't know if they are better at those leagues than Pinnacle could be like 5 hours out. But who knows?
Yeah, well, it disappeared now anyway, but another one popped up at Guts. One thing I've been noticing with CoolBet though is that they seem to have a lot more edges on the favorites. While, for instance, at Bet365, it looks like it's quite often the underdog where the edges exist. Do you have any thoughts on why that happens?
So CoolBet is a new bookmaker who tries to have their own approach, from what I've understood. And Bet365 have so many customers betting with them. And just like the majority of the sports bettors, they are fun bettors. They're putting up accumulators, finding all the favorites they think they're going to win, and they will bet them regardless of if they're underpriced or not. So for that reason, a company like Bet365 will just underprice the favorites, and as long as you're betting the favorites, you're more than welcome to bet with them. But when you're taking the overpriced underdogs, they will start putting restrictions on your account.
Yeah, that makes sense. What's the which one of the soft books did you last the longest at before you got limited?
But I mean, then again, what is limited? Is limited just not being allowed to place your full stake?
I'll call it when you're only allowed to place like $5 per game, regardless of which league it is.
I'm not sure which one I last the longest with then.
Because the only bookie that I still have
I
is.
was allowed to bet for how much was that though? Like with Ladbrokes, I was doing it for a long time, but this is before Trademate got up.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess Ladbrokes was the one I was grinding out the longest. But things have also changed now with their policies and all that. Yeah, I can't really recall, but I guess I would say Ladbrokes, just because it's on top of my head.
Yeah, no, I mean the only bookie I still have left since back when I was using EdgeBet is Bet365. So
you're still using them?
Yeah, I am.
Oh wow!
But I'm running like negative 2% on Trademate there right now, so I guess that's why they're keeping me around. But I was pretty happy when they like offered me a loyalty bonus of $100. That was pretty easy to turn over, that sort of thing. So.
Just like it's so silly because you would expect a company like that to use the same kind of technology that we're using, so they're able to see like closing lines and just look at EV and not be like result oriented about your bets.
Yeah, that is a good point. I think there's a Norwegian company that's pretty large in like the risk management software that a lot of these companies use called BetRadar.
Are they doing risk?
Yeah, they are, or at least they allow you to sort of compare your odds against all the other bookies in the market. So a lot of the bookmakers are using their services, and then they have a bit
I thought it was more like to adjust the odds rather than compare the like to limit people. But
I think they have a bit of a risk management sort of built on top of that as well. They've grown to become a pretty huge company eventually.
Yeah, that must be the leader like in odds providing.
Yeah. And they started out from the same university as me and Martin, and Tobias, so it's
that's cool.
Interesting to see.
Well, I mean, I guess that's our goal also to become like what they have become for the bookmakers, but to do it for the people and not the bookmakers.
I definitely think it's a lot more fun to sort of be on the Robin Hood side and give back to people that the bookmakers can just keep taking money from forever, especially once they limit the winning players. Then it's
Yeah, I think it's a shady business. Like from I've always been like a guy that always wants things to be fair, and when something is not fair, I feel like the only way I can do something about it is to make it more fair. And it's challenging to try to beat these bookmakers, but as long as they're doing what they're doing right now, I feel like we're getting the better of them.
Yeah, and how would you like to see the bookies being run if you ran a bookie today yourself? How would you do it?
How I would do it? I would offer that same odds to everyone out there, and I would rather do like Pinnacle. That's a perfect example of how I think a bookmaker should be run. So it allows everyone to bet with them, and I mean, if they don't want to take the risk, they just got to start off with lower limits, but the limit should be fair for everyone, and not be like, oh, so this guy doesn't know what he's doing, so we will allow him to bet way more. Yes, I understand. Obviously, it's better like that for a company, but I don't think it's sustainable. If people are starting to be interested in learning more about betting, it's just so easy to exploit them because of all their bad bettors they have right now. Because they don't care if they are giving up like 3-4% on a couple of games. Because 90% who place a bet on this game will also add in a couple of others, and they will be underpriced with 15-20%. And then when you multiply them together in a double, triple, fourfold or something like that. I mean, their edge is just like extreme, and there's no way they can lose money.
Yeah.
And that's also why they are spending the amounts they are doing on advertisement. And obviously, people should understand like the reason why they can afford to advertise like they're doing is because that none of the ones betting there has a clue of what they're doing.
Yeah, I think I heard one of the Scandinavian bookmakers when they added like a former Norwegian football player to sort of be their brand and be on the front page and everything. Like their conversion and retention rates and everything just improved so much because people were familiar with that person, and it just gave them so much more credibility. And,
I understand. Was that come on?
Yeah, I think so. With John
Curry was there?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think like I was interviewed by a Norwegian newspaper a couple of years back, and the guy who was CEO there. He was so honest about everything. It just said like one customer sign up to us is worth, I think they said 320 euros or something, and that's the average sign up. And you can include like a couple of people just going in, getting the bonus, grinding it out, and then cashing out. In that, so like if you get a real fun player, I guess he is worth even more than 320.
Yeah, definitely.
And I've heard now that bookmakers are paying, they're paying up to 600 to 700 euros for a sign up.
Really?
Yeah.
That's quite a high customer acquisition cost.
Yeah, and you can also imagine they are also giving out bonuses to the new people signing up.
I guess the majority of people are never able to clear their bonus though, and they just sort of like.
Well, what's gonna happen with them is like they're gonna get a bonus. They're just gonna punt like they are with accumulators, and as soon as they run out of money, they'll just either deposit, or if they're a bit clever, they'll just wait, and then they get an email saying like, hey, you want a new reload bonus, we'll give you one, because the bookmakers just know that they're gonna lose. There's just no way they can make money off them.
With regards to bonuses though, do you think if I was running a bookmaker, I mean I would probably look twice at the accounts that managed to clear the bonuses. Do you still think it's worth it to clear a bonus of, let's say, $300, and then if you know your account is going to get limited pretty soon after that?
I mean, sure, you're going to get on plus EV bets, and you're going to, on top of that, get a bonus, so why not clear it? Yeah,
no, that's the strategy I've been following as well. Just have gotten a couple of questions about that, whether or not it's worth it, sort of avoid the bonus in order to try and look a bit more like you're not doing value betting or arbitrage or trying to exploit the system in any way.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't get on plus EV, then I don't know. I probably wouldn't bother, because so much of your EV is going to go out, and you might not clear it, and then you might get limited before you clear it, and then you just end up sitting there and like, fuck, I'm limited, I can't turn it over, and I have minus EV positions. What am I going to do?
Yeah, that is true. And another thing I was curious about, what's your take on NCAA? Is it worth it, or is it something that people should avoid?
So my issue now is, like, I traded with the soft books a couple of years ago, and things might have changed now, but I saw like a pattern whenever I started betting that I got limited very quickly. So I just decided, okay, I'm going to quit it, because of the risk getting limited felt too high.
Yeah, no, I
so
think...
I'd rather turn my money over on bigger games where I could have a higher turnover per game and not look as active and like a sure better, because that's what it is when you're betting on NCAA. The edges are so big, so you're going to look like a sure better.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think mainly I've been staying away from it, but this weekend I had a couple of bets there at PokerStars, just because I haven't really been turning my money over there, so I figured that it's better to... there's no point in having money in an account if there's not too many bets going on there, so just to increase the turnover.
Okay, how that improved, Danny? Like, I remember they had a lot of edges on Premier League and things like that when they just started, and I just put on like 10k on 4 bets with PokerStars, and I won 3 out of 4, so I made like 25k or something, and then my account got limited to betting $25.
Yeah, no, I think they're improved a bit since the beginning. There pops up there doesn't really seem to be a pattern there to where the edges pop up. Sometimes it's in the Greece League, and another time it's in the Premier League, and then it's in the American sports. So it just seems a bit random there, really. While, for instance, at Bet365, I get a lot of edges on the lower English leagues constantly. So
yeah, I mean, I think Bet365 is operating with a somewhat okay payout rate in the lower English leagues, and I'm pretty sure Bet365 uses their own model to set odds. So because they're not just automating it following like the Asian markets or anything like that, there's going to be huge swings in the lower English leagues because of the limits you can bet in the Asian markets isn't that high, and when you're max betting, you're going to move the markets quite a lot.
Yeah. I also guess that Bet365 is one of the absolutely largest soft books, so I guess that if there's a lot of money coming through them, then they do have more information to determine their own odds there.
Yeah, I mean, I think they might be the biggest one.
Yeah.
So that would explain why they also want their own model, and they just want to be cherry picking the customers because they have so much money to spend, or they're spending so much money on customer acquisition. And I spoke to a guy who just said, like, Bet365, they're no longer a bookmaker, they're just like advertising product, like they're just advertising, and that's what they need to make money.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is what it is, but there's still a lot of money to be made from them, so that's why I think it's just sad that they limited me.
Yeah, it always is.
Yeah, but in terms of Trademate, what kind of changes are we gonna do now in order to like make our product better, would you say?
Well, one thing we've been looking into is to add custom bets again. It's something that we used to have on the old Edge bet, and it's something that a lot of our users have requested.
Yeah.
The main reason why it wasn't included when we launched Trademate was because we wouldn't be able to get closing lines for those games. So what we've been thinking is that we want to set up sort of a separate analytics page or just a way to store the data that you get from your custom bets. So you're still able to sort of use it as a to keep track of your trades, and if you want to dig up the closing line yourself, then you have the opportunity to do so. So
I think that's a good thing to add, because sometimes there's sometimes there's an edge or it's disappearing or something, and it's just like easy to have it.
Yeah. So that's the most immediate thing, and then we also a lot of our users have been given some good feedback on smaller stuff. For instance, the when you withdrawing money in and out from your bookmakers, it's a bit tricky now with the balance you have in Trademate. You sort of have to do a bit of math to get that to add up. So that's another one of the sort of smaller changes that we're looking to make.
Yeah, I've been getting some feedback from people that wants to add more type of bets. And like they're looking for example, NHL. And what's the issue with NHL is that some of the bookmakers are operating with just regular time, whereas others are operating including overtime. I mean, the majority is only having overtime.
Yeah, that's the issue there.
I have explained to them the issue we're having with this is that our feed is we're not able to separate who has overtime and who does not have overtime from our feed, which then can make it like. So what happened when we had it previously was that one guy, there was a sure bet on over 4.5 goals and under 4.5 goals. The only issue was that when you bet under, it was including overtime, and when you bet over, it was not including overtime. So the game ended 2-2, so he went into overtime, and then obviously when it's overtime in hockey, it's always going to be a goal.
Yeah.
So he lost both of his bets. What we could potentially do is to just put out a warning, like on every single NHL trade or hockey bet we're going to get, just like make sure this bet is overtime. And if we see any like trends of bookmakers that has edges, warning, like on every single NHL trade or hockey bet we're going to get, just like make sure this bet is overtime. And if we see any like trends of bookmakers that has edges that is not including overtime, we can just remove those.
Yeah, it could be possible. I have to talk it over with Tobias and get his opinion on it as well. But I mean, obviously, the more sports we're able to have, the better it is, really. Since there's
Yeah, I agree with that, and it's just gotta see like if that's a priority we want to take right now. I'm just talking about some feedback I'm getting.
Yeah. Well, it's always
also,
good to get feedback.
Apparently, there's a lot of value on like bookings and corners. I don't know what kind of markets there are on some books for corners and bookings, but I mean, whenever you can get an edge, it's nice, I guess.
Yeah. I'm not sure exactly like how many different odds types we're currently getting from our provider, but we can definitely look into that as well.
Yeah, and one thing that we're working on right now is like obviously we want to grow the community to become bigger. But the easiest way for people to understand what we're doing here is to speak to friends about it. And I mean, if you're making money and you're betting and you have friends that like betting and they like sports, I think also it makes sense then to, if you recommend a friend to come to our site, that they should get something more than 30 euros off and then 30 euros off for their friend.
Yeah. No, I agree. We've just completed building out or adding an affiliate platform as well, so that if people sort of want to sell Trademate or talk to it about their friends, then they have the opportunity to do so and to also make money from doing it. So,
yeah, and I mean, it's also the simple thing we're going to change now is the refer a friend.
Yeah, and what we're looking to add there is that the friend won't get any discounts, but you'll get a month for free. So that's going to be a nice addition to sort of give you a chance to free roll your sub and to also bring in a new customer there.
Yeah, because I mean, right now, we're charging a fair amount, like 100 to 400 euros a month, depending on what kind of subscription you're having. And I think that EV is well worth it. Like, the cost of setting this up and the cost of running it is obviously quite high. So, but I understand that it's not easy for everyone to spit up like 100 euros a month to use the software. But if you do a sale, then you can free roll it. So I mean, everyone has friends that's interested in betting, and all they need to do is then recommend a friend of them, and then you'll get a free roll for the whole subscription.
Yeah, definitely. Now that change will be added this week. So from then you'll have the opportunity to do that. Invite some friends and free roll your sub. Make a bit of extra money.
I think that would be a great addition.
Yeah. Okay. I think. Do you have anything else on your heart today, Jonas, or should we wrap this up now?
Is there any questions? Asked Jonas about the Cavaliers game from last night. Actually, it was nervous, like this in general, shortly before kickoff news coming, and also go crazy. I mean, it's with NBA. I've been losing a lot of money in the last year.
Just try and answer it, and if the audio is bad, I guess we can just post the answer in the Slack channel or something.
Yeah, so I mean, the easiest way to make money on NBA now is just follow the technical movement, and when there's an edge, I mean, there's the reason for the big edges to come is because of player news, and I'm not sure what Cavaliers, but I heard that I'll drop a lot, so I would assume either LeBron didn't play, Irving, or I don't know what's happened, but I assume something like that happened, and when scenarios like that occur, you have any bets on Cavaliers prior to this, you're basically fucked. But if you're getting on the Bulls trades when this is happening, then you're on massive on the really good side. Because just waiting for player news in NBA is a simple way to make really, really good trades. Because the stock books doesn't just close down their odds like people are doing. If there's some players coming up, then people will just freeze all the bets for the game. Whereas most of the stock books will just leave it open. So if you're able to wait and then jump on the really good trades, I mean, go ahead. That's a neat way of making a lot of money.
Okay, so just to sum it up, in case the audio didn't turn out too good. So what you're saying is that when there happens unexpected changes in the lineups for NBA, then the lines can shift a lot. Did you recommend sort of waiting until the lineup was out, or to sort of take a bit of a gamble before they announce them?
I think it's alright to take a gamble whenever there's a decent match out there, but if you don't want to risk any chance of moving against you, well, then you should maybe wait. But
Yeah.
I would take a position whenever I get told that there's plus EV.
Yeah.
So I run the risk of something might happen.
Yeah, and I guess then you can sort of adjust your stake size depending on how much risk you're willing to take.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Yeah, I think that's it then.
Yeah.
So it was.
I mean, if there's any questions, you can always just pop me a PM on Slack. My name there is Lika, LIQQA. Yeah, I don't know, I guess that's it.
Yeah, it was great having you on today, Jonas, and thanks to everyone who's been watching.
Yep.
All right.
Alright.
Take care, Jonas. Alright guys, thanks for now. bit less trading today, but a lot more talk. So I hope you got something interesting out of this, and happy betting until next time, and I'll see you next weekend.